Sometimes the most fun you can have with welding is seeing what you can make out of a pile of parts. What's even cooler is getting paid to do it. Welcome to Weld. I'm your host, Bo Wigington, and this week I'm taking a trip down to the Charlotte Motor Speedway to meet up with trophy builder Tom Patsis, Season 1 winner of Metal Shop Masters on Netflix. Tom is on the hunt for parts to build trophies for the 2026 Charlotte Auto Fair, and on this journey, you'll get to see the types of items he looks for, how to get the best prices at a swap meet, and what goes into making a great trophy. I'll let Tom break down the mission for today.
The primary goal is to find license plates because on the two trophies, we're going to put CHA, CMS 2026 cut out of the strips of license plates, using the letters and numbers, to get that. So I have some, so I've had a little list here to eliminate, not getting confused, because we're gonna get confused.
Tom had some great insight into dealing with vendors without breaking the bank.
I mean, these are pretty savvy guys. How many guys do you think this guy talks to every day, right? He's heard it all. He knows, he's desensitized. Sometimes you get good deals.
Yeah.
But some of these, you look at some of these license plates, they'll be $120. And it's, it's 100 years old or whatever, but you look at it, and so he's got them organized by date. So this one's gonna be tricky. So you got to find that one where it's just got the little bin of them. So they're not his pride and joy. This is look at this, organized, right? It's better organized than us. So I'm nervous, but 3 letters on one license plate, that's a deal, right? It sounds crazy, but
I think these were the $5 a piece plates over there.
okay.
They almost come out bargain.
What's the damage?
55 altogether. How's that? All right.
There you go. We'll give you 60, a little tip. There you go.
Okay, thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you. Thanks for all the help. We ended up getting a pretty sweet deal for all the plates needed, and with all those knocked out, it was time to continue the hunt. Knowing what parts make for a good trophy could help dial in the search. But what does make a good trophy?
Well, trophies it's like anything. You get that mindset. Like, I understand you have to have a base, you have to have the middle and then the top. And usually you stagger stuff. So it gets, most of the time it goes big, medium, small, and you put something that's eye-catching. But it's just trying to figure out what would fit that would look cool. Like one year we used a distributor cap and put the wires on it, so it looked very mechanical. I've done this for 4 years now, and every trophy has been absolutely different. It's gotten bigger. It's got bigger each as we've gone. But I also I don't want to make it too annoying for somebody. They're going, how am I going to get this home?
Yeah.
And it's just the hard part is just focusing, right? You're like, okay, get this and get this only. Last year we changed the design 10 times, so what's the difference between this year and doing it? So I don't know. There's just, as you look, there's so much stuff.
There's a bunch of carbs over here, though.
Yeah, carbs, and that's got a unique, you probably wouldn't fit in that little hole, but.
Hey, aren't you proud of me? I knew what that was.
You did know. You should know what a carburetor is.
I've got to come clean, y'all. I've never been a huge car guy, and going to swap meets and events like this kind of feels like people are speaking a different language. But just like with welding, the more time you spend around it, the more you start picking up. One of Tom's big rules for trophies is you don't want it to fall over, so we're going to need to find a stable base. Luckily, on our search, we found these cool flywheels, and they worked great.
All right. I'll get you $30, and guess what? 2 less things you got to take home.
That's right.
That's the goal, right?
That's right.
Make this light. I'm looking for my wallet. So we're building a best of show trophy. So we're over in the Cup Garage building the trophy for this. So this we've already built majority of it, but it kind of tips a little bit. So if we weld this on the bottom, obviously that's a huge footprint, and it won't tip over or anything. So it's more of safety for somebody. You're helping save a life.
All right. Well, all about that.
I love how I just talk and say the dumbest stuff, but yeah, it's 2 less things that you gotta take, because it probably takes a little bit to set this place up, doesn't it? There you go.
All right.
Thank you very much. Thank you very much.
Have a good day.
You too.
Mixing up all these different parts meant mixing metals that would be tricky to join. So, what's the best process to use? What form of welding do you typically use the most when putting stuff together?
I'm more of a TIG welder.
Yeah.
Like 90% of my stuff is all TIG welded, because that's just what I'm used to. When I used to build race cars, you only TIG weld stuff. You MIG welded fixtures and frames together, because it's mild steel, but like all the race cars are chromoly, so you're not really going to, you're not going to get into MIG. You don't MIG weld chromoly. It's just the heat affected zone is crazy. But I like it just because it's like a TIG welding is is like a fine tip Sharpie. You get real detailed with it and get in small areas and different cups and different things. MIG welding is just like awesome.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but for me, I desire that. So it's just personal preference. There's people that MIG weld and it looks like TIG welds. They're going, yeah, I don't do that good.
Yeah.
I don't do it enough. I haven't stick welded since 2001.
Dang.
Just don't have a use for it. It's nothing wrong. It's just there's people that stick weld every day and just like looks like just perfect. I go, yeah, I couldn't do that.
Dimes, bro.
Yeah, to me, there's always somebody better. Everybody. But you can see the look. This is thin and it's tall, and it gives it color too, right? You looked at that trophy, and it's
Gray.
steel gray and a little bit of copper looking or whatever. But you can see a little bit of red. When we get the license plates, it'll add a little color. So it just even that's What'd you say? 10? There you go. There you go. One less thing you gotta take home, right?
How you feeling about the haul?
I'm feeling good. We got about 20% more of buying something, and that will, because then we won't need to be out here anymore and go back to work. This is just like when I'm at my shop. If I'm on the computer, I'm not welding, but I need to be on the computer to get the next job lined up, and I'm all by myself. So it's you can see how it's like a vicious circle when you're not working.
By yourself today.
No,
man.
no. This is I'm grateful you're
You
here.
got a pack mule.
Yeah. See, there's some more of these headers, but I go, problems with some stuff, people obviously want to sell it for the value of it. Some people just want, like those guys just want to get rid of it, right?
There's another one that matches pretty much what we got.
Yeah. Let's sandwich that if it even has a price on it. It's probably, I don't know the tag on it, but $40. See, yeah, we paid a quarter of that price for that. So, see, we're doing great.
We're doing good dealing.
It could be. I mean, a shifter's kind of cool.
When do you say to yourself, I'm wasting time?
Probably at this point in time, I'd probably go, probably right now, but not really, because like I said, I can find something on accident sometimes faster than when you're going, I need like these license plate. Lucky that worked out. But yeah, you're right. At some point, you got to stop redesigning stuff and just go, just put it together. And then usually when you put it together, you see it and go, that was great. Or now I see that it needs this or that. So it's one of those, this is not the traditional way I build stuff.
You don't do this every time?
Normally I have a pretty good plan because I feel like I built enough stuff that I go, oh, you want this? All right, I can already picture it when I'm sleeping. I'm gonna do this, 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 and this, and we're done. And this is ongoing all the way up to it being finished, right?
Yeah.
Look at the potential here, right?
Ooh.
Right? Chrome, heavy. It's steel, so we can just weld that to it.
It really goes to that goal of making people need to have someone bring it home for them.
Yeah, that's happened. So, like the guy I talked to, he had to get his brother to drive 3.5 hours with his Silverado because he couldn't, he drove his car here and it's a show car. Like, you don't touch his car type thing, right?
Yeah.
So some big 100-pound, probably pretty sharp when you turn it on its side, is gonna poke a hole in your seat, is not going in his, it's not going in his car. So his brother-in-law had to drive 3 hours here and drive back in his truck to put it in. And it's in his it's in his shop. It's a prized possession. He told me. He goes, he's already told me when he dies, that truck that won it, and that trophy go together. And he goes, my daughter gets the truck, and the guy who built, the hot rod, it's a, $200,000-$300,000 car. He can have the trophy for a year in his shop because he wants it that much. I'm like, we're talking about a trophy that I built in a thing in like 2 days, and it's like a prize heirloom to them. And I go, that's really cool.
That is.
Like, there's not a lot of things that you can build somebody other than a personal sculpture, I would think, and it's just a junk art trophy. But it's meaningful, it's cool. You got to make stuff cool.
Yeah.
It has to. This is cool because there's no rules to it.
Yeah.
It's not, it's just, as soon as you buy the first one, you see 100 of them later, cheaper or whatever.
Searching for parts is only half of the battle. The real fun starts when you get to figure out how to use your new parts to build something great.
Probably have to cut this down. What we do is we cut the, I was thinking about what we do is we cut it, right? I know it's aluminum, we cut it, but we cut the aluminum housing and weld the steel and figure something, weld a bolt to it through that hole, lock it in place. Figure some way to lock it. But I thought that would be cool here, and then put maybe a gear up here or something, or maybe not. You have it up there nice and high, so it actually looks good. Yeah,
that was the best part.
I like what you did with the not in the same. That's actually really cool. Good job.
What do you think of our haul? Do you think it was a successful journey, or do you?
No, it was
I do.
Very successful. Very successful.
Fueling back up. Brought to you by Mountain Dew.
delicious.
The nectar of the gods.
Tom and Dan worked for another entire day to finish the trophies, and I gotta say, these turned out pretty awesome. Not only did the winners get to take home bragging rights, but they also took home a little bit of history collected by the vendors who spent their time traveling around to shows across the circuit. Tom didn't start out as a trophy maker, but the fabrication skills he earned from his time spent working in the racing industry set him up to succeed. Now, he's busy building orders from all over the world, and it started by learning the skill of welding. When you're just starting out, you don't need to know exactly where you're heading, you just need to get started. And remember, there are no trophies for figuring it out the fastest. Sometimes it's all about the journey you take to get there. Thanks for tuning in to another episode of Weld, and a huge thank you to Tom and Dan for letting me come out and see the process in action. I had a blast picking with you and hope to get up to Tom's shop one day soon to check out some more of his work. If you got some good info out of this one, let me know down in the comments. And if you're not already subscribed, do it now so you don't miss out on another episode. If you're listening along with us today, please leave us a review to help inspire more welders out there as they find their pathway into the trade. I'm Bo Wigington, and until next time, see you out there.